Coco, and what we're going to do is teach Coco to sit. So I've got a little tasty treat in my hand, and what I'm going to do is just raise it up, and as her bottom hits the ground, I say sit. Notice how her legs came up, and what we want to do is we only want to give it to her when all her 4 feet are on the ground. So sit, good girl, well done, good girl. Sit, and as she puts her paws up on my hand, I just move my hand so it makes her harder to do that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want Coco to come. So what I do is I make myself exciting and say, Coco, Coco. If I haven't got her attention, good girl, come. I wait until she engages with me, and then I reward her. And I also want her to sit every time she comes. So what I do is I give her a tasty little treat. And these treats are just part, it's actually her dry food that she loves. Coco. Good girl, come. Well done. Every time she comes back to us, we say the word to teach her that's what it is. And come must always be followed by something good. If we say come, you're going to have a bath. If I'm going to say come, good girl, into your crate. Then what we sometimes do is make her not want to come when we ask her to come. So what we're going to do now is teach Coco, good girl, come, sit, to go to drop. And so what I do is I hold a tasty treat, and as she goes down, I say the word drop or down. It doesn't really matter as long as we use the same word each time. It's about consistency. Good girl. So we ask her to sit. Good girl. And then I hold the treat. Good girl. Drop. Well done. Sometimes people use drop for drop that ball out of your mouth, and sometimes people use down. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. Okay, good girl. Dropping is one of those things that often little dogs don't always do naturally. I don't tend to worry about it so much in small breed dogs. Sit, good girl, simply because it's for a large breed dog taking weight off their joints, which is good. Sit, good girl. And then often what I do is I have a release word like, okay, so off she goes. The next thing I want to do is teach her that hands aren't chew toys. So what we do is we want to get her used to being handled without nibbling us all the time. And you need to pick a moment when she's calm and relaxed. And so what I do is just give her a bit of a tickle. She's not entirely calm, but she's not nipping me. And the moment she relaxes, I relax as well. And let her go. Good girl. Always have a chew toy whenever I go up to a puppy, so they've got something to chew. Good girl. Not my hands. My hands aren't chew toys. Good girl. Well done. And what I do is get used to being handled without nipping me. The way we reward them is with the tone of our voice, with food, eye contact, and toys. Good girl, well done, sit. Every time her bottom hits the ground, I say the word sit. Good girl, well done. What I do is massage Coco to get her used to being handled. So sometimes all I do is I put a couple of treats down here and just give her a bit of a tickle, and then move up to a more sensitive area like her face, and then just go back to her body. Good girl. Put a toy there so she's allowed to chew with her toy, and I give her another little treat just for allowing me to get her used to being massaged. So I pick up her paw, look at her ear, and this really helps us when she comes in to see us and she's sick, and we might have to check her ears, or we might have to clip her nails. Good girl. Sit. Drop. Well done, well done. So we're looking at her ears, and I might have to clean her eyes at some point in time, so it's really important that she stays still while I do that. And what you want to do is just go at the rate that they can cope with. If you find she's getting a little bit feisty, you might need to give a little bit of a break and just get the toy out. Good girl, well done. So what we're going to do is teach them that our hands are not an invitation to do it. So here we are with Coco. Now this could be Coco's bed at night, or this could be Coco's method of transporting the car. Sit, good girl. So every time her bottom hits the ground, sit, good girl, we say sit. If we want Coco to go into her crate, then often what we do is we put some tasty treats in there. Good girl, Coco. And we encourage her to go. Sometimes you need to just put the treat just in the door and show where it is so she's more likely to go in. Good girl. Good girl. So you need to make it fun, and we use food as a way of teaching her that her carry cage is a fun place to go. Good girl. What's that? We shouldn't force her in. We just need to be a bit patient. Good girl. And we put the treat in a bit further each time. Good girl. Well done. In your bed. You can use bed, you can use crate. It doesn't really matter so much. I think the dogs can understand a bit more. Good girl. Well done. The important thing is not to rush her, to let her go in when she's good and ready. And what you do need to do is make the reward for going in good for her. Good girl. Good girl. See how she's gone in her bed? Well done. Yay! And then next time, hopefully she spends a bit more time. She wants to chew my fingers, so it's really important I give her something else that's more appropriate to chew on. Well done. Well done. Hey, is that a funny noise? Is that a funny noise? I suppose a bit about dog behaviour. Many people think that a waggy tail is a happy dog. Sit, good girl. It really just means we're happy to engage. So sometimes a dog who's got a waggy tail isn't necessarily a happy dog. It might be, I'm happy because I'm about to eat you. So just always be mindful. You need to look at the rest of the dog's body language to give you an idea of exactly how they're feeling. Good girl, on your bed. I do a lot of training with the mat, whether it's a mat or a bed. What you want to teach her is this is a good place to go to. So if she's in the kitchen underneath your feet, you can always say go to your mat, go to your bed, and it makes a nice happy place for them to go to where they can relax. And you can move this in different places of the house. What I want to do with her is teach her to look at me. Good girl, yes. Good girl. Rather than just looking at my hands, I want her to look up at my eyes. Good girl, Coco. Well done. So you can see our training goes from us asking her what to do to her beginning to offer a behaviour, and we need to reward that. Good girl. We need to reward dogs for doing nothing, for being quiet. Good girl. Come. Good girl. And then I ask her to sit, and then we'll get her to drop. Well done. So this time she's had to work to get the same treat. At the start she got a treat just for sitting. Now she has to come, sit and drop. Good girl, look at me. Well done. So what we're trying to do, good girl, drop. See how she did that by herself this time? Sit. Well done. Perfect. So you can see that time we didn't give her a treat for doing what we wanted, and we have to move towards using our voice and not relying on food all the time. So I think that at times when she does sit, we need to always reward that. You can see how she's getting a bit feisty, and now she's thinking about, I might give you a little bit of a nibble with my teeth. It's important you move your hands in a way where she can't nibble. Really important, because we don't want her to learn that she can chew on my hands. Don't wait for them to misbehave. You know, if she's going to come up to you and if they're a bit of a jumper, don't wait for them to jump up and then tell them off. It's much better to direct them as to what you want them to do. You can see Coco's wearing a collar and a bell. I really like that in puppies. It lets you know where they are and helps avoid you stepping on their toes. And she's just adjusting to it. She's finding it a bit uncomfortable, not because it's tight, just because it's new. And so she's giving you a bit of a scratch. And we just need to persevere, because bells on puppies is really good. Okay, so I suppose a couple of things about when is the best time to train puppies. And each time we interact with them, we're really teaching them what we want. We have 3 moments when we can influence their behaviour. I'm thinking about doing something, I'm doing something, or I've done something. And we want to catch that at the I'm thinking about stage. I'm thinking about jumping up, I'm thinking about doing a wee in the house, and that's when we have the biggest impact on them. So supervision's key. You need to interrupt their pattern of behaviour if they're about to wee in the house. And if they're about to jump on you, you have to ask them to do something else that you would prefer, such as sitting. So supervision is really important. We use lots of treats, but not every dog is treat orientated. We want them to learn fast, and in most cases, most people want them to learn yesterday. And food is a way of training them. The food needs to be desirable to the dog. It needs to be something that's relatively healthy as well. And this is just Coco's normal diet. People often get concerned that their pet is going to get fat if we keep on using treats. But this is her evening meal tonight. And so rather than putting the food in the food bowl and it's gone in 5 seconds, Coco's actually learning key skills in getting her food at the same time. If you've got a dog who's not food motivated, or if they're not thinking about the process, so say for example some Labradors are really just give me the food and not thinking about the process that led them to get the food, then using food for them is not a good idea. And that's where toys come in. So you can train dogs with toys, it just takes longer and it requires a different level of patience for their learning as well. Good girl, Coco, well done. So it's really important that not only is the dog willing to learn, but you need to be in the right headspace also to teach the dog and interact. And sometimes we all get a bit frustrated that they're not doing what you ask them to do, or they're going crazy. So in instances like that, then sometimes the best thing to do is just distance yourself from your pup, pop your pup outside with like a bowl of food or a Kong full of food, and you take yourself off and have a cup of tea and just relax for 10-15 minutes and then give training another go. It may be that you're a bit tired, or maybe your pup's a bit tired. But the most important thing is that both of you are in the right headspace to teach and learn.